Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Jamie Lammers, and welcome to a brand new segment of the Mountaineer Podcast. This is Top Story, where we bring you all of our biggest news from peak to peak. Let's jump straight into the news updates brought to you by Brittney Wagner.
Our top story today comes from Christopher Kelly, shopping for goodies and peace. From May 30th to June 1st, the Mountain Forum for Peace threw their annual yard sale fundraiser at the Netherland Community Center. The Mountain Forum for Peace was established in 1985 and still to this day carries the torch of environmental justice and of peace for the Peak to Peak area. Every year, the nonprofit organization promotes its mission through advocacy, such as work through education by awarding grants and hosting engaging lectures by special guest speakers. You can read the full story in this week's Mountaineer or at themountaineer.com. One of our top stories today comes from Christopher Kelly. Leave a book, have a beer. Very Nice Brewing Company held an event for both book lovers and plant lovers on Sunday, June 1st at both Gilpin and Netherland locations. Participants were asked to bring a book, plant, or both to trade amongst community members. Doing so provided an environment where horticulturists and bookworms alike could share knowledge and experience. You can read the full story in this week's Mountaineer or at themountaineer.com. One of today's top stories comes from John Scarf, press conference on Boulder anti-Semitic attack. Officials from the Boulder District Attorney's Office and the Boulder Police Department joined the FBI and acting U.S. Attorney J. Bishop Gruhl for a joint press conference on Monday, June 2nd to announce state and federal charges against Mohammed Sabri Solomon in connection with the June 1st attack on a gathering on Pearl Street in Boulder. The victims of the attack were participating in a weekly national event Run for Their Lives, focused on bringing attention to the Israeli hostages being held by Hamas. The suspect in custody, Mohammed Sabri Solomon, is being charged with a federal hate crime in addition to facing state charges for attempted murder in Colorado. You can read the full story in this week's Mountaineer or at themountaineer.com. One of our top stories this week comes from Wes Eisenhardt. Judge lifts injunction against Gross Dam. Federal Judge Christine Arguello on May 30th, 2025, vacated her injunction on the expansion of Gross Dam. Arguello allowed Denver Water to finish building Gross Dam using the current design, but restricted the utility from taking any actions to fill the expanded reservoir until the Army Corps of Engineers permits are redone. Arguello issued an injunction on April 3rd, 2025, halting construction and recognizing the arguments of the plaintiffs. Denver Water appealed the ruling, citing the risks of leaving the dam in an unfinished condition. You can read the full story in this week's Mountaineer or at themountaineer.com.
Here's what's coming up for the 4th of July. In Allens Park, there'll be a flea market at 9 a.m. at Tree Huggers Trading Company. There will be a parade at 11 a.m. on Main Street. There will be a community picnic with free hot dogs, face painting, and yard games at 12:30 p.m. at the Old Gallery. And there will be a cakewalk at 1:30 p.m. at Tree Huggers Trading Company. In Black Hawk, there will be a parade at 10:30 a.m. on County Road C. There will also be an outdoor barbecue at 11 a.m. at Z Casino. In Central City, the Barber of Seville will be on stage at 2 p.m. at the Central City Opera House. In Coal Creek Canyon, there will be a pancake breakfast from 7 to 11 a.m., a parade at 10 a.m., food and beer garden at 11 a.m., music, games, vendors, and cornhole tournament 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., all at the CCCIA Hall in Coal Creek Canyon. In Gold Hill, there will be the 4th of July Twang Fest and barbecue from 12 to 5 p.m.
In Jamestown, there'll be a pancake breakfast and live music in the Jamestown Town Square from 8 to 11:30 a.m. There'll be a parade from 12 to 12:30 p.m. and afternoon festivities, marching band, kid activities, vendors at Elysian Park from 12:30 to 10 p.m. Entertainment includes a pie contest and a wood splitting contest, local musicians and bands throughout the day until 10 p.m. In Netherlands, there will be a summer concert series at Guerico Field from 4 to 8 p.m., a parade at 12 p.m., and a community potluck at Chipeta Park at 1 p.m.
Thank you so much, Brittney, for bringing us our top stories from Peak to Peak. For more events and for more information about all of these stories and to read more of this week's stories, then be sure to head to the mtnear.com and read this week's edition of the Mountaineer newspaper. I will see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.